And I'm your host, Dana Migliore. How are you today? How is your energy currently? Do you feel any tension in your body? If you do, just make sure you recognize that and take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And if you concentrate your breath into the area you have tension on your out breath, you can just imagine the tension releasing from that area and you feel much more centered. So if you've been following this podcast for some time now, maybe you've noticed the last 2 weeks there has not been an episode. Now, what I really want to share with you and get you to have a really great understanding about is what happens when you try too hard. Have you ever tried really hard against something? Okay, because this is what happened to me. This is why I've not shown up for the last 2 weeks. And it has a lot to do with my routine. I have an active, consistent routine that I stick to. And I think routines are necessary, okay, and required for, change and evolution and success. But it does get to a point where we need to take a break, okay, from our routine. We need to stop trying so hard at manifesting the thing that we absolutely want to bring into our existence. And the reason for this is because if we don't take the time to make that break ourselves, the universe will conspire something to make that break happen for you. Now, this is not always the funnest manifestation, okay? Because this is something I manifested. So what ended up happening was I manifested getting really sick. And guys, I don't get sick anymore. I'm an energy healer. I mean, the worst sick I get is like a headache, and I need to take rest. But no, I was a full blown out like viral cold, like sneezing, whole box of Kleenex. It was a mess, okay? So I got really sick. Now, the beauty in why I manifested getting sick, okay? So you might have an experience where you don't really understand why that happened, but it kind of gave you the release of resistance that you were looking for, or maybe didn't even know you needed. But because I'm so self-aware and so self-tuned, this is something that I manifested because I needed to release resistance. Number one, I wasn't taking a break from my routine. And I was trying so hard, okay? This is what happens. I am a really hard worker per se, recovering perfectionist, and I have routines. So I get into this momentum of, needing to get it done, needing to get it done, needing to get it done. And that type of energy is not good. And even though I was self-aware of this, sometimes our analytical mind, our ego, comes into play, and you start recognizing that this is overriding my self-awareness, which can happen. I don't care how long you've been at practice with your self-awareness. There are going to be moments where you backfall into old habits and patterns. And this is why having self-awareness is really important, okay? Because now you get to notice it. And the sooner you get to notice it, the sooner you get to change it. And it's always about learning from what happened. Like, not why did this happen to me, but what can I learn from this? What is the universe, God, source, energy trying to give me a lesson on? What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? How am I evolving from this? Okay. So what happened was when I finally got sick, I was like, I don't have to get up and do those things I need to do. I have a reason now to take a break. Okay. So that me manifesting getting sick gave me a reason to take the break that I needed. I needed to let go of certain outcomes, and that's same for you in your situation. So there's going to be a point where you're going to notice burnout syndrome, or maybe you're more irritated than usual. Maybe you're not sleeping as well. Something's going on energetically with you, okay? And that's your alert. That's your sign to time to take a break. Okay, it's time to take a break. And if you don't and you keep going, you will manifest something. It might not be a viral cold, but something will happen where it's going to give you the space that you really needed subconsciously and that you weren't really paying attention to. And this is why it's so important to become so self-aware. Okay, but sometimes these things happen anyways, no matter how good our self-awareness is because our analytical, egotistical mind overrides and we need to learn something. This is what happens. And this is what's evolution, because again, healing isn't linear. We know that, okay? It's always, you're always going to be learning different levels of healing and learning. So it's great to know that, I'm happy that this actually happened to me. Who's actually said that they got a cold? I'm happy that happened. I really am though, because I was able to manifest a lot of things that were in a queue. You know what a queue is, right? When you're pending something and it's on its way, it hasn't made it to you yet. Well, me getting sick allowed to that the resistance I had within me to release, and then all the things I had queued up, lined up, that I was like wanting to manifest was like boom, 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 boom. It happened while I was sick. Now, did I really need to manifest getting sick? No, I could have probably took my own break and realized that, but I didn't. I was on that overdrive. I was on that over burnout, and boom, got sick. So what was so cool was that feeling of like, I felt when the resistance left my body. It left me energetically. I remember being sick there. I'm like, this is all sniffy and nasty. And I was like, this is why this happened to me. This is why this happened to me. I need to pause. I need to allow what I've asked for. Because in prior episodes, okay, I talk about there's that two different frequencies. The frequency of asking for something and the frequency of being able to receive it. They're two separate frequencies, okay? So technically, in the situation that I was in, I was only allowing the frequency of asking. And I needed to step out of that routine, that, momentum I had going on of that, to allow the receiving. But I wasn't letting go of the resistance. I wasn't taking the break. I wasn't changing my frequency. So the universe is like, sprinkle, we're just going to give you a little reminder. And and it came. But, I got to kick my feet up. I got to relax. I got to binge watch movies and relax with my dog and not worry about creating content, not worry about, my clients and things going on. I was literally able to just be like, what am I so grateful for? I was like so grateful to be able to breathe through one of my nostrils or stop sneezing. There was one day where I just didn't stop sneezing. I think I sneezed like more than 550 times. And I was getting to the point where I can't do this anymore, right? So I was just like so grateful for these little things that I normally, take for granted. Breathing through my nose, not being able to sneeze. Oh my God. Or just like smell food, because my sinuses are so clogged up. So super grateful for these little things, and like how everything around me was a reminder of everything I have, I already need. Like there's nothing else I really need to live a joyous and happy life. Because sometimes, with that analytical mind, our egotistical self, it comes in and we're like, I got to get that next thing. I got to get that next thing. And it can get misstrued that you need this next thing to feel a specific way. Like I teach this now for a living. This is what I do. And it's still going to happen to you. You can't escape that. It's knowing how to deal with it and knowing what to learn from it and knowing how to evolve from it is what makes you that true mastery at creating your own reality. And so I was super grateful for that happening. The insights I got, the downloads I got, the manifestations that happened, which I do want to share with you. Should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video. I'm sorry. I want to share with you a really quick game called the What If game that I used to manifest a lot of things, while I was in this 2-week period of being sick. And so let's get into it right now. So the what if game, pretty much what it is like, wouldn't it be nice if? I remember a long time reading in one of, Abraham Hicks' books, that we should be stating statements like, wouldn't it be nice if? So while in this period, and then you state, what you want. So in this period, I'm like, wouldn't it be nice if I had to do absolutely nothing and everything I wanted came to me? And I kept repeating this as a mantra, maybe if you want to call it an affirmation. But why I like calling it a mantra is because of the energy involved in it. It's not just something I was stating. It was like an energetic dance. And so I what I like to do to make the momentum stronger in this mantra was I used the melody from Beach Boys, the song like, wouldn't it be nice if we were older? So you get what I'm saying. If you know that song, if you don't know the song, look it up. But you should know the Beach Boys song. It's like a very known one, like not one hit wonder, but it's a very popular song. So I used that. So I was like, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to do anything at all? And everything just came to me like magic. Like I would sing it, skipping in the house, drinking my tea, blowing my nose. I was literally singing that. And so not only was I releasing all the block resistance I had going on, but I also was amplifying momentum of receiving frequency. So it was like a double whammy. You know what I'm saying? So like the first week I'll let go of the resistance. Second week where I started feeling better, but I'm still in recovery, now I'm amplifying the momentum that I need to attract what I want. Now, again, you don't need to catch a cold to do this. I don't want to give the wrong example. And routines are great, okay? Stick to your routines, but make sure you see when your routine's starting to fuck up your energy. Sorry for that, But make sure you understand when your energy is getting messed up and tightened up, and then your vibration is lowering because of that routine. That should be the trigger. That should be the trigger. Like, all right, I gotta take a couple days off. I'm calling sick today. I'm gonna do something. You gotta do what you need to do to re-energize your energy. And see, I wasn't doing that. I kind of went on the overdrive. And so this was very much like magic to me. And okay, so for those of you that have followed me in the last 2 weeks of me being sick, I know it doesn't matter how many people follow you on Instagram. It really, you can't control that in a certain aspect, right? But, I always wanted this 10,000 followers is what I was going for. And right now it's currently at like, I believe 21,000 something. Like it just blew up. Because this is one of the things I was secretly asking for. I didn't really care if it happened or not, but it was one of those pending manifestations. And then one of my clips I ended up releasing just went viral and just blew up, right? So, and a lot of things are coming into perspective. Like certain accounts that follow me, might be collaborations or things coming in for, new streams of money. And so it was just so exciting to see happen. And I was like, oh my God, like all I had to do was release and take a break. And I didn't, but then the universe blessed me with getting sick so that I could release that resistance and allow these things to come in. So how is getting sick a blessing? But it secretly was, because there's always that silver lining, right? There's always that silver lining. And so this song is really powerful. Another thing I did was I skipped around saying, wouldn't it be nice if a random cash flow just popped right in my lap? Like, sorry, that's really bad. I need some auto-tune there. But so I was singing about random money falling into my lap. And no word of a lie, 2 days later, I got handed a random envelope with $1,000 in it. I'm like, what? I feel like magic. So I just kept the momentum going. So I just kept saying, wouldn't it be nice if this just kept happening? And I'll just laugh and laugh and laugh. And that's what I did. And that's what it is. And that's still going. So I really want to share that game with you to try. Just do it. And don't, and the thing is, when I did it, I didn't think about, okay, like, when is it happening? I was so more attention on healing my body. That's another thing. Because I got sick, I was releasing the resistance, but I also, my focus was on getting better. My focus wasn't on when is that thing going to manifest? How is that thing going to come? Why it hasn't happened yet? My focus was on healing. And again, I wasn't focused on my cold. Oh, it's so bad. This is going to get worse. This is the worst electric cold of my life, which it felt like it, but because I've been sick and like, I don't even remember the last time I had a cold like that. And so it allowed me to place my attention elsewhere in healing. And then all these other things were allowed to come into my experience because of my shift of focus, my shift of attention. And yes, something happened to make me do that, but that's because I was too much in resistance. But my desire was more. So something manifested in my experience to allow me to allow that resistance to release and direct my attention elsewhere. See how powerful that co-creative universe can be? And it is for us in every waking moment. So from now until next week, because these episodes air every Wednesday, since I started, except for the last 2 weeks ago, because there was just a break that was required for me to get more downloads, manifest a couple things I was asking for, and now we can get back at it. So same for you. Notice when you have a current routine that's just not doing it for you right now. It's a great routine, but maybe you need to break it up a little bit, And we can tell that from honing in. So my Ascension workbook that's absolutely free, you can find it on the links below if you haven't downloaded yet, is going to help you release resistance and change your energy vibrationally to allow these things. So like while you're going to want to change your routine up a little bit, use that workbook to help center your mind and your energy along your way and along your transformation for that. And there's other links below that are super helpful that I really suggest you kind of look into. Now, I'd love to hear from you as well. Like if something resonated with you in this video, like maybe something similar happened to you and you realized that and you had the story, share it with me below. I'd love to hear about it. And if you're not watching this on YouTube and you're listening on Spotify or Apple, thank you so much for tuning in. Reach out to me on Instagram and let me know. This is what makes the community greater, when we share our experiences and we co-create together. Because again, we don't create abundance. Abundance is a natural flow. We create limitations, okay? And in order for us to stop creating these limitations so we can allow the abundance to flow, we want to make sure we're aware of our energy. And you can do that on your own by listening to certain podcasts or music or frequencies, or grab the Ascension workbook. It's going to bring you through certain trainings and techniques that you can use to utilize the power that's already within you, because we all have it and we all get to tap into it whenever we choose to, because that is the power. That is the power that you have in every waking moment of your existence. So if you're not where you want to be, remember, you have the power to change it. Now, I hope this resonated with you. I can't wait to, bring more to the table next week's episode. So make sure you subscribe. And if you're new to the podcast, make sure you check out some prior episodes and let me know what you think. And it's always a pleasure to be here. And again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week.
Did you like this episode? If so, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Are you an expert at creating your own reality? Do you have a story to tell that drastically changed your life? If so, message me at Dream Creation Podcast on Instagram, and don't forget to leave a review.